Sup gladiators, welcome back to Spotlight. This is episode 2 of season 2, and before we get started, I'd like to give a really short shout out to Elena for commenting on our show. Thanks, keep tuning Elena, and keep tuning you too to our majestic audience. I am your gracious host Lorenzo Ayeli, and today we have with us Liana Jackson. How you doing, Liana?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good, thank you for participating. So tell us about yourself.
So my name is Liana and I am a business administration major. I'm from Monterey, California, and one of my greatest hobbies is astrology.
Astrology, 10 years, right?
Yes, I've been doing this for 10 years now.
Right. So tell us, how did you start? What made you start? Your inspiration.
I was inspired to start doing astrology at the age of 12, mainly when my mom introduced it to me. She would always read her horoscope online when she would check her emails, and then she would show me, and she would click on my horoscope and I would read it, and then she would let me use her computer all the time. So I would always go on her online and check my astrology horoscope for the day or the week or the month or anything like that.
Right. So an hereditary passion, more or less.
Yes.
Okay, and how did it impact your life, like later?
So astrology has impacted my life in a big way. I use it daily. I listen to videos of astrologers doing their readings for the month, for the week, for every other day or so, and I use it as a tool to understand myself better, as well as to understand the people around me better.
Right.
Yes.
Like how to understand their personality based on the sign, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you think about the skeptics? What makes them like dismiss the topic so easily?
I think that people dismiss the topic of astrology so easily because they have never had their birth chart done, and once you have that done, you can actually see based off of the descriptions what like resonates with you. If it's connecting, everything that it's saying, you can see that it connects with you, the way your emotions, the way that you react or don't react to certain things.
Oh yeah, sure. It's also a great opportunity to see if the description also applies to you. Like you read, oh, that's totally me, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right. And still about the skeptics, what would you tell them to do to get more open-minded about astrology?
I would just tell them to, like, hey, be open-minded, get a reading, or do your birth chart. You can easily do it online for free. You can check out your astrological placements and see where your planets are sitting.
Oh, okay, so basically get off the sofa and go doing some research about yourself.
Well, you can even do it on the sofa, so.
Right. So, and let's just talk about those who believe, so the optimistic, the most enthusiastic. About them, would you like to give them like readings of their signs, or are you going to do?
I definitely want to start doing readings, hopefully in November if school and everything is steady and going to plan.
Right.
And yes, I definitely will start doing readings for sure. I also have astrology cards that I'll be implementing into those readings to show physical depictions of...
Right. Personal advertising, good for you, good.
Yes.
Okay, folks, you've been listening to Liana Jackson and Lorenzo Ayeli, your gracious host. Take it away. Thank you.
Thank you. So today I'd like to go into the fundamentals of astrology, aka Astrology 101, where I'll talk about the sun signs, and then I'll go a little bit into all of the other planetary aspects as well as the 12 houses in astrology. So to begin, the sun sign basically represents your personality, and it's also who you're trying to become in this lifetime. Your sun sign is what everyone knows you as. It's what you are as soon as you're born, when the sun is at an exact point in the sky. that's the sign that you're born as. So if you were born as an Aries, you tend to be active, energetic, you might be adventurous, spontaneous, you very much so like to be the leader. If you're a Taurus, you like stability and security, you want to feel comfortable, you can also feel with your five senses, so touch, taste, smell, and hear. You also like beauty all around you. If you are a Gemini, you have a very active mind and you constantly have to be doing something. You have to be stimulated. You also like intellectual conversations and socializing and having fun. If you are a Cancer, you tend to be a little bit more emotional and sometimes moody. You can be a little bit withdrawn into your shell, but you care deeply about people and will always try to help as best as you can. If you are a Leo, you tend to be very dramatic. Some people see you as an attention seeker. You like to have the spotlight and you like to be center stage. You also have a good sense of humor and you have a very big heart. If you are a Virgo, you tend to be labeled as someone who is a bit of a perfectionist. You like things to be clean, you want things to be pure. You are also very analytical and detail-oriented. You're very practical, and you also care about people and will lend a helping hand if someone needs it. If you are a Libra, you are very social people. You tend to be fashion forward. You are very social. You care about your appearance. You can look very polished. You like to be respected, and you generally like equality, balance, justice, and fairness. If you're a Scorpio, you're very deep and intense. You like the mysteries in life. Your general themes are death and rebirth and inner transformations of the self. You like to hear the stories of other people and possibly even take on some of the traits of others. If you are a Sagittarius, you're very adventurous, you like to learn, you're very philosophical, you like to travel, and you generally are you might have your own belief systems and tend to be impatient sometimes with others. You like things to go your way, the fastest way possible. And if you are a Capricorn, you are very hardworking and you generally are seen as a workaholic, or if you're in school, you're very studious and you tend to keep your emotions under wraps. You don't always show or express how you feel, but generally people see you as having a big heart and you tend to be very humorous. If you are an Aquarius, you are very humanitarian and you make friends with people from all walks of life. You like to network, you're very good with technology, you're very future and forward thinking. And if you are a Pisces, you are very dreamy and imaginative, and you tend to be in your own little world. Sometimes you like to escape reality, but people see you generally as someone who is very compassionate and loving and someone with a big heart. So I just went through all of the sun signs, and now I'll briefly go through each of the other planets, starting with the moon. Even though the moon's not a planet, it's still in your chart. So the moon represents your emotions and your feelings, the way that you react to certain things. So for example, my moon is in Gemini, and the way that I feel emotions or the way that I express them is that I like to talk about the way that I feel. I like to talk about it, communicate. It also represents your thoughts too, so I like to think out loud sometimes. And for someone who has maybe their moon in Cancer, the moon is the home sign of Cancer, so you'll feel your emotions very deeply, and you might tend to cry a lot, or you'll be very emotional or very sensitive. So now we're going to go into the Mars. Your Mars represents your actions, the way that you move forward and tread along in life. Say your Mars is in Aries, you're very quick. You might be a little impatient. You might want things done right now, right when you want it. Or if your Mars is in Scorpio, you might be very calculating, or very, you might stand back and observe things first before you take a risk and take action. So now we'll get into Venus. So Venus represents what you value. It represents your self-worth. It represents things that make you feel comfortable and secure in life. And let's say, for example, your Venus is in Taurus. Venus feels at home in Taurus and in Libra. That is its home sign. And so if your Venus is in Taurus, you'll like to feel comfortable within your own home. You want to come home, you want to see artwork, you want to see beauty around you, you want the nicest furniture, you want the softest pillows, or the softest clothing. That's what Venus in Taurus is like. They also know their self-worth, and they won't settle for anything less. Now moving on to Mercury is all about the way that you communicate, the way that you express your ideas and your thoughts. And when Mercury is in, let's say, Virgo, which is its home sign, you tend to be very analytical, and you think things through thoroughly before implementing them. You might pay attention to all of the details, and you just want to plan and organize and make sure that things are going to plan. Let's say if Mercury is in Pisces, you might tend to communicate in a more imaginative way, and people might not always understand you, because the way that you think or the way that you express yourself is more clear in your own mind versus rather than the way that you express yourself outwardly. Moving on to Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and good luck and fortune. It is the planet of blessings and of fate. So if your Jupiter is in Pisces, let's say, you gain good luck and you gain good fortune when you are compassionate towards others, when you are lending a helping hand to those who need it, when you are expressive and you show your emotions and you express your art, you will gain more good luck and fortune in your life. And say if your Jupiter is in Sagittarius, which is its home sign, it definitely will show that you gain good luck and fortune when you are sharing your beliefs, sharing your ideas, going on trips with others, and philosophizing. Moving on to Uranus. Uranus deals with unpredictability, taking risks, chances, unexpected events in life. So when Uranus is in, let's say, when Uranus is in Aries, you might get unexpected hits of physical pains, or you might end up having sudden occurrences that happen, and you have to pick yourself up very quickly and just keep moving along. And if Uranus, let's say, is in Libra, you might have unexpected things that happen within relationships or within partnerships or anything relating to other people. Moving on to Saturn. Saturn is the planet of discipline. It's the ruler of authority figures and governments and taking responsibility. It rules higher organizations and even parental figures, specifically male figures within your life. Let's say if Saturn is in Capricorn, which is its home sign, things will be very orderly. You'll have a lot of responsibility. You'll be very hardworking. You will always try to get the job done, and it will be the most efficient. It'll be the best way possible. You like to have control of your environments, and you like to take the leadership when it comes to projects and things of that nature. If Saturn is in Aquarius, then you will be very involved and will have lots of responsibilities with organizations or maybe technological endeavors or projects that have to do with the greater good of other people and bigger groups. Now, moving on to Neptune. Neptune is the planet that deals with your imagination, your subconscious mind, your dreams, the things that go on underneath the surface. And when Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces, let's say, you're very imaginative, you're very dreamy, you're often in your own little fantasy land, and you might tend to escape reality. You might also be very spiritual. You might be in tap with your psychic abilities when Neptune is in Pisces. Now, if Neptune is in Taurus, let's say, you will be a more grounded person with your subconscious thoughts and your dreams and your imagination. You'll be more focused, you'll be more rooted in reality, you'll be more grounded because you're focused on the physical assets, the physical things that you can achieve within your life, because Taurus is a more physical sign. Moving on to Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's the planet of death and rebirth. It also represents the way that you gain self-value from others. It can also deal with big changes and risks that go on in your life. So when Pluto, let's say, is in Scorpio, and that's its home sign, you will have deep transformations and intense changes that occur within your life. Some people who have Pluto in Scorpio might go through traumas in their life, or they might witness deaths and things that people normally don't want to deal with in life. That's something that maybe someone with Pluto and Scorpio would deal with. Now, if Pluto is in, let's say, Gemini, you'll have deep transformations and big changes occur with you, mainly through your social life and the way that you communicate. Communication is a big thing, and you will create big changes for yourself when you are able to express yourself, whether it's by singing or writing or journaling, connecting with other people. That's where the most change will occur for you. So those are the planets for you. Now I'll get into the 12 houses in astrology. So the first house is known as the rising sign, or it can also be known as the ascendant. And the ascendant represents how people see you, how other people view you, what you look like on the outside, your physical attributes and the way that you carry yourself. Now, the second house deals with your value, your security, and your money. It's also your earned income, what you're bringing home to the table based off of the work that you do. So the third house represents your way of expressing yourself and your communication style. It can also be your artistic ways of expression. It can represent music, art, writing, dancing, depending on what sign is in your third house. That's what the third house represents. For the fourth house represents home and stability. It can also represent the more motherly energy. And the fourth house usually is a stable ground for where you grew up, possibly, or where you would like to live one day. Fourth house overall represents just your home and your family. It might represent your family life. For the fifth house usually represents romance, it represents dating, it represents children, it represents flirting, and those are usually fifth house traits. And the sixth house represents work and health. Health in a sense that how are you treating your body? Are you giving it all of the nourishment that it needs? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you making appointments for yourself? So sixth house mainly deals with health, but it can also deal with work and responsibilities that you may have to attend to, being organized, paying attention to details. The seventh house represents partnerships, relationships, or any other connection that you may have with other people. The seventh house usually deals with marriage, and it can also deal with court agreements, anything dealing with the law, policies that are put in place can deal with the seventh house. The eighth house is a little bit deeper. The eighth house can deal with shared income with other people. So after the seventh house, you have marriage. You have the eighth house, so say you're married already and you have a spouse and they're making a lot of money, and that money is also, you're also contributing together. Eighth house can represent other people's money. It can represent business transactions and dealings. And then it also represents your more subconscious self, your deeper nature, things that you don't show outwardly or share. It can also deal with secrets as well. The ninth house deals with education and higher learning. It also deals with travel and long journeys, and it's also your belief systems and how you it can also be your learning style as well, how you tend to learn new things. The 10th house deals with responsibility, authority figures, mainly the father energy or the male energy. The 10th house deals with business, and it can deal with your career and your role within your own career. If you're a leader, or if you tend to work behind the scenes. The 11th house deals with friendships and networking and other people. The 11th house is also technology driven, and it can also be a very humanitarian house where you are meeting new people, connecting with new people, learning their backgrounds, seeing how you can help them. And last but not least, the 12th house deals with your subconscious mind and your dreams and your imagination and the things that you don't always show within your reality. So those are the traits of the 12th house. So that was a little bit of Astrology 101 for you. I went through the sun sign, the moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Neptune. And then I also went through each of the 12 houses, and I really hope that this was something that gets you interested in astrology and makes you want to look into it even deeper than just the horoscopes that you read online, or just the star sign or zodiac sign horoscopes that you have, because you have the whole solar system within you, and you have so much more to uncover. Hey Hey, this is Liana. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment who you want to see next on Spotlight. Thanks. Bye.